Hello, happy Monday. Welcome back for your weekly live dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker, and I am a local real estate agent here in northern New Jersey. Um, okay, no flack for being here in New Jersey. I just have to point out on my channel, on my YouTube channel, I did this video a year ago, 10 reasons why you shouldn't move to New Jersey. And I just do that stuff because, I think people need to hear the facts. They need to hear the truth, right? So I don't know why that video has been blowing up for the past 2 weeks. Like literally, it gained like 20 something thousand views just in the past couple of weeks. It's up to like 45,000 views or something like that in total right now. I don't know what's happening, why people are hating on Jersey. I don't know. I could not tell you, but anyway, I appreciate everybody watching it. It's just funny how a year later, here we are. It's still quite the popular topic. So speaking of New Jersey, before I get started on our topic tonight, I think I need to start a new segment called Only in New Jersey, because it was all over the news. I'm sure people saw this. It was on CNN. It was on all like the news outlets about there was 500 pounds of pasta that was dumped near a brook in Old Bridge, New Jersey. And it was a mystery for days. Like, think about this, mounds and mounds of spaghetti. So for my viewers, let me just show you. I'm going to pull up the article. I just think it's really funny. This was like, this made the news. Of course it made the news. So you see that pile of pasta? Like, seriously, like, okay, we're in New Jersey. That could fly here, right? I mean, we've got a big Italian population. We're known for The Sopranos, so why not? No, apparently, I guess this guy, his mother unfortunately had passed away, and she was cleaning out her house, and she had all these boxes of pasta, and he didn't know what to do with them, so he dumped the pasta like near this brook. And what happened was, when it got wet, oh, yeah. Look what happened right there. We got all of the nice spaghetti and macaroni. It's like all you can eat. All you can eat. What was that commercial back in the 70s and 80s? Prince Spaghetti Day. Wednesday was Prince Spaghetti Day. So yeah, like every day was Prince Spaghetti Day in Old Bridge for a while. So I just had to bring that up because, again, only in New Jersey, right? So let's move on to the topic of the week. So okay, the housing affordability. This is just, it's not getting better, guys. It's not. And I got to tell you, the stuff that I'm seeing online and the research that I'm doing for my content, you'll see the video that I put out this week. It's, oh my God, it's all about how this is just insane. Sellers aren't selling. This spring market is like the slowest it has ever been, at least in the history, in the years that I've been working in real estate. And my fellow colleagues who've been in this business way longer than me they're just as in shock as I am. We're like, what is going on? Well, look, the government's been trying to fix things. We know how well that goes, but it's not working. So the burning question, when are these homes, when is it going to be affordable? When are these prices going to come down? Well, I say it all the time. We're not going to have a crash. It's just not going to happen. And I know you get upset when I say this, and you've seen headlines out there, people saying, oh, it's crashing. And we talked about that last week when I had John Schwartz on, and we were calling out some of the other creators on this platform that are feeding off the fear of everybody and putting out all this fear mongering information. And it's just not right. So what the heck is going on? This spring market is pretty much, it's like, to me, it's dead already. Here we are, it's May 8th, and we're coming to the end of the spring market. It typically ends right after Memorial Day weekend. And it's not getting better, guys. It has not been a hot market at all. Why? The good old golden handcuffs of the low interest rates that people are sitting on. So let's Let me pull up the first article that's addressing this, because I got to share the info with you. Here we go. And this is from Forbes Advisor. Housing market predictions for 2023. When will home prices be affordable again? Well, I'm not optimistic about that. But anyway, so it goes on to say here, we had a lot of things go on in this spring market that's been pulling buyers back. Okay, first of all, the rising mortgage rates. Okay, mortgage rates went up, and our buddy Jay Powell, Jerome Powell, raising the federal interest rates. Now, he's done that twice during the spring market. He just raised it again another 25 basis points last week. And we also have our lovely federal government imposing more fees on those who have good credit to help alleviate the cost to get a conventional loan for those who have bad credit. How is that helping? How is that helping affordability? It's not. I'm sorry. This whole thing with inflation, trying to raise the interest rates to curb inflation, to calm down the housing market, has not done a darn thing, because these interest rates, even though they're over 6%, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People are still buying a house. They're trying to grab whatever house they can because there's hardly any left. So let's go on. I want to read a little bit of this article. It says here, so the housing market forecast for May, as we move through spring home buying season, buyers and sellers remain at a standoff. Persistently high mortgage rates and home prices continue to put off many prospective home buyers as fears of ongoing inflation, bank sector volatility. Oh yeah, let's not forget about banks collapsing too, weakening economic growth, and an impending recession hang in the air. How long has this recession been hanging in the air? I mean, are we in it or are we not? I mean, I just feel like they keep saying the coming recession, the coming recession. I don't know. I'm sick of hearing like it's coming. Where is it? All right, moving on. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve voted to raise its key interest rate by 1/4 percentage point on May 3rd, a move in line with most housing experts' predictions. The Fed also signaled that it may pause rate hikes for the remainder of the year should inflation continue to fall. Oh, yay. Thank you. Thank you, Jay Powell. A Fed rate hike has an indirect impact on a long-term home loans, such as 30-year and fixed-rate mortgages. These circumstances have put a strain on the housing market, which remains a mixed bag. On the one hand, home shoppers receive good news, with the median existing home sales price declining to 0.9% to $375,700 in March compared to a year ago. Now, that's data from the National Association of Realtors. They say here this is the second consecutive month year-over-year home price declines after a 131-month streak of record increases. Okay. On the other hand, wait, before I go on to this, 0.9%. Are you kidding me? So do you know what makes, like, what constitutes a crash? When people say the home prices are going to come crashing down, you have to have a price decrease of 20 to 30% for that to be a crash. And they're all getting excited that prices came down 0.9%. That's nothing. Now, the video I'm doing on Wednesday, you'll see that when I post it, that prices came down. This is Redfin data. Prices had come down in April. I think it's like a little over 2%. Still, it's not enough. It's not enough. So let's get back to this, shall we? And then I'll get onto your comments. So let me go on here, guys. Sorry. All right. Okay. Some experts foresee a sluggish housing market recovery. Following several weeks of declines in March and early April, mortgage rates edged higher in recent weeks, reaching 6.3% the week ending April 27th, according to Freddie Mac. If current economic conditions persist with elevated mortgage rates and home prices amid scarce inventory, the market is likely in for a long, slow climb and a few bumps along the way. You think? I think so. Now, they go on to mention one of those bumps includes the new mortgage fee rules that were imposed by the Federal Housing Finance Agency. And if you missed my live stream on that a couple of weeks ago where we discussed it, you can go back and watch that. Um, yeah, that's hurting a lot of people, and it's really upset a lot of people too. I mean, I don't blame them. I'm mad. I think it's ridiculous that they're doing that. All right. So what else we got here? The housing inventory outlook. Okay, this is another important thing. Low housing inventory has been a challenge since the 2008 crash when the construction of new homes plummeted. It still hasn't fully recovered, and it won't in 2023. Inventory is approximately 46% below the historical average dating back to 1999. At the current sales pace, unsold inventory is unchanged from March at a 2.6 month supply according to NAR, though up from 2.0 months a year ago. Supply is low by historical standards, especially in the face of pent-up demand. 85% of homeowners are sitting on mortgage rates below 6%. Yep, let that sink in. Let that sink in. 85% homeowners are sitting on less than 6% interest rates. Where are they going? Where the heck are they going? And imposing these new fees to, charging more the LLPAs to the people with better credit scores and making a little bit better for the people with lower credit scores. How is that helping? Please, can somebody tell me that? How in the heck is that helping? I'd love to know. So these things are just, it's not working. It's not working. And I think the government needs to get out. I think the government also needs to cut back on these regulations on the builders. Let them build the flipping houses right now. I mean, this is just outrageous. That's the only way houses are going to become affordable is we have more inventory. I said it. That's it. We got to find more homes for people. Now people are just like locked, they're handcuffed to their homes, to their interest rates because they can't afford to trade up right now. So let's go on. I see we have some comments and questions. Welcome, everybody. So I so appreciate you all being here. So I have my trusty producer, Johnny. What do we got going, John? Do we have got any comments on here? David, hi, David Matney. I'm so glad you're back. Seems like the recession has just around the corner for a year and a half, right? Why do they keep saying this impending recession? This, I've said it before. Like I question everything, and my girlfriend tells me all the time. She was like, it's that Sicilian in me. I get suspicious. I'm like, what are they trying to do to us? Because it just doesn't make sense. Their thought process does not make sense at all. Like how they're trying to solve this housing problem. Now, if we look at new construction is up, believe it or not. So that's a good thing. So home builders have a little bit more positive outlook. But again, it's expensive. The interest rates affect them too. They got to borrow money too to go and buy the supplies and do all the things in order for them to build a house. Plus the application fees, the permit fees. It's really damn expensive for them to build. So again, that's where I keep coming back to. Let's just get these builders help. Get them, get these regulations. Most of them, I'm gonna say all of them, but most of them, like the stupid regulations, like, come on, let's let it go. Okay. Let these guys build. Now I understand there's a shortage too of construction workers. That's another problem too. And I could go on for days about trades too. I get people should be encouraging their kids, maybe not to go to college, but to get into a trade. But I might get a lot of hate for that. So I'm not going to go into that right now. So let's go on here. So I see Dom's back. Hey, Dom, how are you? Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. What's interesting is the Fed talks about the hot jobs market, but doesn't include data about what types of jobs those are. Flipping burgers or CEO. Sly Fed, very sly. Yes, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. I don't trust anything that they say. I really don't. When you sit back as a real estate agent and you look at the big picture of what's going on, and you're watching your clients, and you're now meeting people that come onto my channel that are commenting, they're saying, we want to get a house. We can't do it. We keep getting outbid. And I'm like, what? Why how did we get here? And like, why aren't they doing the right things but to fix it? These stupid things by the government, it's not working. It's not working. Sorry. Um, okay, let me see here. Mosh, hi. You're new here. Thanks for being here. How can we translate affordable to our New Jersey market? So it depends, Mosh, where are you looking? So I will tell you, Northern New Jersey, it's really it's tough. It's really tough right now. The prices have gone up so much. I just had a client who wanted to move, potential client, go back on that. She reached out to me she found me on YouTube. She, really wants to move to Northern New Jersey. It'd be easy for her commute to New York, blah, 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 all the things. So, we got to talking only to find out what she qualifies for. She can't afford anything up here. She can't. So you have to look more central and South Jersey. And I would tell you, those homes are being scapped up pretty quick too, because I think the people are just being priced out up here and they're going more South Jersey. I mean, it's the unfortunate truth, but it is what it is. All right, what else? Okay, David, the average builder spends $67,000 in regulatory fees alone to build a home. Thank you for that bit of information, David. I appreciate that. So there you go, right there, like 67 grand, almost 70 grand just in the fees to build a house. It's just so stupid. I'm sorry. It really gets me. It drives me crazy. So anyway, moving on. Just make sure. Now, foreclosures. Let me bring that back up again because people are questioning, like, are we having any foreclosures in the near future? I think you already know what my answer is going to be to that one. Let me show you. Okay. Will there be a lot of foreclosures in 2023? Though still below pre-pandemic levels, foreclosures have been edging up since the expiration of the COVID-19 foreclosure moratorium in September 21. In the first quarter of 23, foreclosures climbed 6% from the previous quarter and were up 22% from the first quarter of 2022. That's according to Adam Data Services. All they do is like look at foreclosures around the country. They said March foreclosures were up 10% from a year ago and 20% between January and February. This unfortunate trend in foreclosure activity can be attributed to a variety of factors such as rising unemployment rates, foreclosure filings making their way through the pipeline after 2 years of government intervention, and other ongoing economic challenges. Now, my gut is telling me, I don't think, let me get rid of that. I think the reason why you're seeing those foreclosures increase, it's those coming off that moratorium, and they've been sitting in the pipeline. You've heard me say it before. When it's in New Jersey, it takes 1,000 days. Think about that, 1,000 days to get through the court system for a foreclosure. So nationwide, and because the moratorium just ended in September 21, I think this is all backlog. And as far as anything new, think about it. People have a lot of equity in their homes right now. So if they were on the verge of, they couldn't afford the house, I mean, they could turn around and sell it and make some money on it. So I don't think we're going to see foreclosures like we did back in 2008. It's not happening. Sorry. I know you guys come here and you're like, you want some good news? I'm like, I wish I had it. I wish I had good news. All right, Dom. What else? What do we got here? I know it's a long shot, but have to ask the question. If the Fed fails to pay in its debt here shortly, what effect would it have? I don't even want to know, honestly. Like, I'm not like, you know what, Tom? I'm not like great. I'm not great on that stuff, but I can't imagine it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good because we know the government's been spending money like a drunken sailor. And if they can't pay that off, which, let's be real, I don't think so, but it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Is that going to crash the housing market? I don't know. I don't know. Listen, the one thing that does affect the housing market is jobs. So if there's a tremendous amount of job loss, yeah, then we'll have a problem. We're going to need to we need to be worried a little bit. So like you said, the job markets to keep reporting the numbers that, everything's great, the job market's strong, but we don't know what kind of jobs they are. But I don't know. It's really frustrating. I just want to go back really quick. I just have to acknowledge, because I know, John, I saw you pull him up. Thank you for the super sticker. You're amazing. You're new here. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's A-Lest R6. Thank you so much. Thanks for supporting the channel. Appreciate it. Anthony. Hey, Anthony, how are you? The mob ditched that pasta there. It was either dump it there or sleep with the fishes. Go back to the pasta. Yeah. Only in New Jersey, right? Right, Anthony? Only in New Jersey. All right, what else? Okay. So let's move on. Listen, guys, that's the latest report. Another thing I want to mention too, in April, new listings, think about this. Spring market, middle of the spring market, new listings were down 22% the end of April. Where are all the houses? That's another indicator. That's another indicator of the golden handcuffs. But people just aren't selling. They're just not selling. Hey, Johnny, put Dom's thing back up there. Thank you, Dom, for the coffee fund as I eat my pasta meatballs. I love it. Enjoy that pasta there, Dom. All right. So again, 22% decline in new listings. That's like unheard of. It's unheard of. And you've heard me say before, there's a shortage of like 4 million homes in this country to begin with. And now we got people just sitting in their homes and not selling. I felt bad. I had somebody reach out to me today that they had a friend that's in a rental. They need to get out, looking to buy something. And I felt bad. I said, you know what? The market is bad right now. It's tough. I'd like to prepare everybody for what the reality is. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom and be like, I'm not going to be like your typical salesperson, be like, yeah, I'm going to get you a house and we're going to get you in. Yeah. Am I optimistic? Generally, I am. But this stark reality of what we're dealing with in this market, you all need to be prepared. We got to be ready to face it, and you got to be ready to fight, because that's what it's come down to. We are fighting for these homes, and people are still paying through the nose, regardless of the interest rate. Has not made a dent at all. Hasn't done anything. Just ridiculous. So on another note, so I want to go talking about affordability. Got my notes here. I'm like all prepared for you guys. So I want to share this with you. This is from the National Home Builders Association. Sorry, high prices plus high interest. Yes, Mosh, you're right. The high prices, high interest, it's just too darn expensive. Johnny, can you pull up that chart from the National Association of Home Builders? Okay. This is a chart from the National Association of Home Builders, and it's basically showing the amount of people who can afford a home at a certain price range. So you can see this. You see from 0 to 150,000. That's the price, right? That's the house price. 39 million people can't afford, right? It's saying here they can't afford home price up to $150,000. Yeah, it's like scary. I just want to pull up the article. Okay, so yeah, the base of the pyramid, 39 million U.S. households with insufficient incomes to be able to afford $150,000 a home. Now you go to the second step. The second step consists of 25.8 million with enough income to afford a top price somewhere between 150 and 250. Adding up the two bottom rungs shows that there are 64.8 million households who cannot afford a $250,000 home. Now it goes on to say here, the nationwide median price of a new single family home is $425,786, meaning half of all new homes sold in the U.S. cost more than this figure and half cost less. a total of 96.5 million households, roughly 73%, cannot afford this median price new home of $425,000. Like, that's insane. That's really insane. All right, John, you can take that off. So if that many people can't afford that price, how is it going to go? Like, sorry, you're raising your interest rates and raising, imposing all these fees. It's not happening. It's not happening. We need more houses, need incentives to help these people, unlock those golden handcuffs. And I've been saying this for the past couple of months, like what interest rate is going to be attractive enough for a seller to want to sell and trade up to the next place, right? So many things. There's just so many things to look at here. And like, what do we do? I don't know. I wish I had the answer. So Mike, hey Mike, how are you? I am waiting until late summer. Can't pay $50,000 over asking. You and everybody, Mike. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Hello, Jen. No, they cannot afford. Scary. I know. All right. And David, unfortunately, I think first-time home buyers will have to spend years planning in order to buy a home, including staying at home longer, smaller wedding, in-state college, and maybe having roommates. I'm so glad you said that, David, and mentioned roommates, because that's a segue to my next section. So speaking of roommates, this is how bad the affordability has gotten, where now older people, like, we're talking senior citizens, are now doing house sharing because they can't afford to live on their own. So it's like a Golden Girls situation. So check this out. This is from USA Today. I couldn't believe when I saw this article. Here we go. More Golden Girls than Friends. Can home sharing be the answer to America's housing affordability? These housemates think so. God, why can't I talk tonight? So it goes on to say here, or Becky Miller did the math. The monthly mortgage payment of $1,095 plus utilities ate most of her $2,100 income she received in Social Security and 2 small pensions. So when the 73-year-old Longmont, Colorado resident attended a meeting on home sharing at her local senior center, she decided to give it a try. I was just barely making ends meet, says the former bank receptionist. I had been a single parent of twin daughters, and I didn't have much in retirement. Since January 2021, Miller has rented a bedroom to Marlene Mears, a retired teacher and a Michigan transplant, for $650 a month. So here we are. Now these poor people are renting out rooms out of their own homes, to help alleviate the cost. I mean, look, when I read this, I was like, you know what? That's really sad. But then at the same time, maybe it's not such a bad thing, especially for the elderly, if they're alone and, they need some type of socialization. Maybe that's not a bad thing. But it's just really eye-opening to see, like, how that generation is now, the baby boomers, they're all being affected by this, right? Everyone's being affected by what's going on in this housing market. And like, it feels like nobody can afford this. So not just you millennials and you Gen Zers, this is affecting the older generations too. And now they have to share their house. I mean, look, we do what we got to do, but in the end, it could be a good thing. It could be a positive for these people. So what are you saying here, Dom? What should be interesting is the effect that the auto loan market has on everything in the next couple of years. I'm seeing more and more stories of folks having repossessions. Oh, really? Really, Dom? I didn't know that. That's really interesting. Okay. How many retired people now work at McDonald's in order to supplement their retirement? It's so, oh my God. David, I know. When I go to the store, I go to the grocery store, and I see a lot of retired people working, and I get it. They want to keep busy. Look, I want to keep busy. I think a lot of people will do that anyway. They don't want to be sitting around. They've been used to working their whole lives. They got to do something besides volunteering. I don't know. My girlfriend and I were just talking about it today. Like, what are we doing when we retire? Like, we have to do something to, we're gonna have fun, make a little money, and just, we're gonna want to enjoy ourselves. But that burden, though, that you can't afford, because their Social Security and whatever little pension this woman has, she's bringing in $2,100 a month. Dear God, that's just frightening. It's really frightening. So let me go. Let me go continue on with this. You guys have been very patient with me tonight. Thank you so much. All right. Where are we? Sorry, guys. Okay. So this part here, it says home ownership pays. Between 2006 and 2016, the number of adults age 65 and older who were sharing their homes with non-family members grew by 87%, from 470,000 to 879,000, according to the Joint Center of Housing Studies at Harvard. The high cost of rent, which has increased 17% since March 21st, has hit seniors especially hard, says Amy Ford. I think for most of our users who are entering the retirement years, it was very difficult to have projected what the actual costs were going to be and determine how much they would have needed to save. So what are the benefits of a home share? For retirees, extra rooms are an opportunity to supplement income and offset cost of living increases, while for home seekers, regardless of age, sharing a home can bolster the ability to save, or in some cases, stave off homelessness. That's sad. In many states, seniors are the fastest growing segment of the homeless population. That's really sad. That's really sad. Oh my God. In 2021, 40.06 million households, or nearly 1/3 of all U.S. households, spent more than 30% of their income on housing, an increase of 3.4 million compared to 2019, according to analysis of the American Community Survey data. So why aren't more people sharing their homes and expenses? It's not the cultural norm. Prior to World War II, it was a ubiquitous practice. But now, while as a young person, you're expected to have roommates, once you get married or partner up and buy a house, that cultural expectation does complete 180 and is almost stigmatized. A home sharing arrangement is not just for retirees. So it goes on to say here, Fields, who has been a home sharer herself, has had 3 tenants in their 20s, a college student who lost her student housing during the pandemic, and most recently, 2 Ukrainian refugees in their early 20s. Now, here's the disadvantages to shared living. Mir's first experience, now we're talking about the lady from the beginning of the article. Mir's first experience with the homeowner in the Denver area was less than ideal. She was matched by a nonprofit agency during the pandemic, but the only thing the pair had in common was restricted adherence to COVID protocols. The homeowner in her 70s was overbearing and impossible to live with, says Mears. She wouldn't agree to any mediation by the agency that matched the pair. She acted as if I was her all-around support person and would want me to sit and watch television with her all the time. And I just did not want to do that. Mears, a divorced mother of 2 grown children, often just wanted some time to herself. She'd get upset with me because I'd go into my room and I would read. If I was going to get my driver's license renewed, she'd say, "Oh, I'll come with you." I'm like, no. So yeah, that could be a problem. That could be a little bit of a problem. You have somebody, yeah, that's a problem. If you got somebody you're sharing a home with and they're just like, yeah, I'll just like be your best friend and just go everywhere with you and, come sit and watch TV with me. Oh God, no. Anyway, sorry. I mean, I know they mean well, but I don't know. I don't blame her. I couldn't do that. Mosh, I think they look at renting versus home sharing. The problem, Mosh, the rents are so expensive right now, although it's calmed down a little bit. But again, that market is tight too. There aren't that many rentals. Even up here in Jersey, there's not much available right now. So that's causing the rents to go up too. And what I'm also hearing a lot, which really burns me up, is that a lot of landlords are trying to like they want to take advantage of this and they want to they're raising rents like to like ridiculous prices. I'm like, why would you do that? Why? I understand. Like, look, your expenses go up, but like, let's be realistic. Do you have to like increase it by $1,000 a month? I mean, I have tenants right now, and honestly, when their lease was up, the lease was up, I think, in February, and they weren't sure where they were going. I said, look, we'll go month to month. I'm not going to raise your rent. And I didn't, because they've been excellent tenants and I wasn't going to do that to them. And, now they've figured out what they're doing. They are going to be moving out, but I just didn't feel right doing that. I'm doing okay. I'm doing, I'm doing okay on this rental. I don't need to price gouge them, where a lot of landlords are doing that. So Phantom Games, Johnny, could you pull up? We got a comment here. What are your thoughts on the housing market in Maplewood? Another hot market. Maplewood's very popular. Maplewood, the oranges, like West Orange, yeah, competitive, very competitive. And Maplewood's a beautiful little town too. It's really nice. But look, any town in New Jersey, like Bergen County, Essex County, that's got access to New York City, those markets are still super competitive, and you're going to have a hell of a time finding a house. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but just be prepared for that. That's why I tell you what I tell you. So, Kasun Melinda, thanks for joining. We were planning to buy a house and found a few good options, but my company laid off a couple hundred people last March. I was lucky, but that made us decide to wait to see what's going to happen. I don't blame you, and I would wait. I would continue to wait. That's what I'm telling people now. Me as a real estate agent, right? I don't know. I would hold off. Okay. Yeah. Hello, Jen. I wonder if the pandemic shutdown leaving landlords out of rent is correcting itself by raised prices. You know what? That's a good way to look at it, but I don't know. I'm just seeing, like, I've met people who are now in the market to buy. And when they tell me, they've been a faithful tenant, they've been paying their rent, and their landlord's like, no, I'm raising your rent to, whatever they're paying, $2,200, they're raising it to $3,200. Why? Why would you do that? That's just that's gouging, and they're taking advantage. But that's a good way to look at it, though. I never even thought about that it's correcting itself. What do we have here? AJ, welcome. I love Teaneck, but can't find a price. I loved it. I know. I'm telling you guys, anywhere in Bergen County right now, I think the last I looked, the median price, it's well over $600,000, the median sales price in Bergen County. And anybody that wants to live here, you gotta, and the cheaper homes, like if you want to go into like the 300,000, 400,000 range, those are homes that are going to need work. Those are being bought by a lot of investors, and if you want to put the work in, that's great, but get ready to pay a lot of money to do these renovations. I'm not a very good salesperson, am I? It's like talking everybody out of, like, you don't want to buy that, but it's reality. Look, I get what's going on in this economy. And I would just, oh my God, I couldn't live with myself if somebody went and bought a house and then they went into foreclosure because they couldn't afford it. Like when I talk to my clients, I make sure that they are like well qualified, and I make sure that they talk to like one of my lenders. I'm sorry, because then I have that conversation with my lender and they tell me this is where they're at. They, they have extra money. They can, they have enough money left over. They have, like, they're in good shape. And I've had my lenders tell me, like, yeah, no, not so much. Like, these people are going to struggle. They need to pay off some debt or whatever. They need to save a little bit more for their down payment. You in this market, you gotta be like totally prepared. And I'm talking about, dot the I's, cross the T's, all the things. You have to, because you walk in there and you're not ready for this. It is the most emotional and the biggest slap in the face when you're going up against all these offers and when you see what these offers come in at, it's really it's sickening. It is. I'm sorry to say that. So AJ, you keep it real. Yeah, I do keep it real. I'm going to tell you how it is. That's why I have this show. Diane Nowak. Hi, Diane. Connecticut is insane. People pushing up prices by paying $40,000 over asking and nothing out there. How are regular folks supposed to survive? Now, Diane, I don't know if you serve Connecticut, but look, no hate on the people from New York, but I really feel the New York people, when they started flocking here during the pandemic, that's what drove the prices up. They really did, because you had a lot of people with a lot of money and a lot of cash. And once that migration started in the pandemic, it was just outrageous. We saw those prices rising. We're like, somebody offered $200,000 on this house. We were floored. We were seeing these prices ending up what they were selling for, and a lot of times cash. Like, where they getting it from? Mosh, we saw it firsthand. I'm sure you did. I saw a lot. Believe me, you would not believe you wouldn't believe the things that I saw over those 2 years with that pandemic. Gotta get out of thinking about it. We cannot keep up. I know. I'm sorry, Mosh. I hear you. I totally hear you. But look, I think at this point, spring market's almost over. I mean, let's just call it. It's May 8th. We got a couple more weeks. With the feds raising the rates again last week, these new fees that were implemented, I think more people are now going to be holding back. I don't know if interest rates if they do come back down. That scares me too, because then you have this influx of buyers coming back into the market because now rates are lower. But I don't know. I mean, people, I think, are going to get to a point where they've had it. They don't want to deal with this anymore. They don't want to overpay for a house. And that's the sentiment that I'm getting a lot from people. They're just like, I'm waiting this out, man. I'm not doing this. So Phantom Games, let me show that. We had a prolonged winter inventory barely rose during spring. You're right. That's a great way to put it. We see the town that I live in, I think we're up to maybe 20 homes on the market. We're typically in a normal market, normal year would be normal spring market. It could be anywhere from like 80, about 80 homes to 100 homes, depending. Yeah, like we're around 20. Like, what? Like, it's just, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing for sale. So here's what I think. Hey, Dylan, thanks for coming on. Oh my God, I need to have you back on, Dylan. So we got to talk. We will talk. It's my buddy Dylan Lee from Florida. I love when he comes on. Dylan's a great guy. If you need a realtor in Florida, Dylan's your man. So here's what I'm thinking. If you are still in the market and it's not happening, if you can stay put, stay put. I know. If my manager was listening to me right now, she'd be like wringing my neck. Sorry, Margaret. But look, there's so many things weighing right now on this housing market, and it's weighing on a lot of people, and it's way too much. It's way too much. So if you can hang in, continue to save, okay? Continue to, watch the rates. If you want to, you may have heard my friend Bob, who's been on before, who's a mortgage lender. My buddy Bob has said now's the time to invest in the treasury bonds. You get about 5% interest. So if you have some money socked away and you want to put into like a 3-month CD, earn 5%, do it. I would do it. It's like really make that money work for you while the interest rates are where they are right now. And just, and just keep socking it away. And my hope, now they're saying this correction is going to take a while. And another interesting, this just popped in my head. I'm so sorry. I'm like all over the board. Johnny, could you pull up the poll for us? Okay. I did this poll a week ago. Are you still in the market to buy a house this year? We had 73 votes, and thank you all. That's a lot, like 73 people. I'm so happy about that. So you're going to buy a house this year? 36% of you said, yes, we're going to make it happen and get a house. 64% of you said, nope, 2024 may be the year. It may be the year. And if it is, that's fine. Do I think you're going to be overpaying at that point? I think we're going to see a correct. I just hope it doesn't, I hope it comes down a little bit more than, what National Association of Realtors is saying, 9.9%, and Redfin saying 2.8%. It's got to come down a little bit. But if those rates come back down again, just if you're going to go back in with the rates are at a reasonable place, just be careful because it's going to bring in more competition. And it's, but my hope has been if those rates fall like at say to 5%, maybe that will be enough to get people to sell their houses. Okay. I don't know. It's just mind blowing. So do we have any other comments out here? So before I wrap up, I have to share the great news with you all. Are you ready? Guess what I did today? I started a podcast. So if you can't catch me on Monday nights, you can go find me on Spotify and all podcast platforms. So let me show you. I'm so excited about this. So there I am. So it's your dose of real estate reality. And I will be taking these live streams. I'm going to be putting them up in the podcast. So if you can't watch me on Mondays, you can listen to me in your car on the way to work, or if you're working out in the gym or whatever you're doing, you want to catch up. You can always catch up on the podcast. So I'm very excited about this. Very good friend of mine encouraged me to do this. Thank you, Christina. And I'm super, super excited about it. So it should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to reaching more people with the podcast to get this information out, because I think it's important. This is why I do this channel. And thank you, David. Oh my God, you're awesome. Thanks, Dylan. You're the best. I appreciate you guys. I think it's important to get this information out and be real about this. And I don't want to I don't ever want to put fear into anybody, but I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to tell you this is how it is. Okay. So if you have somebody going up to you and you're reading that the market's crashing, you can tell them, no, Jackie said it's not, because it's not. There's nothing for sale. There's nothing for sale. It can't crash. So another thing I wanted to show you guys, if you need assistance, you need a referral to find a realtor in your area, I am so happy to help you. I have tons of connections with real estate agents. Let me show you my website. You can go to my website right here. It's JackieBakerSellsNJ.com. You scroll down to the bottom. Hello. Look at that big picture of me there. There's a form down here on the bottom. If you would just fill that out, and I will get notified, and I will get back to you within 24 hours of receiving that. Oh my God, thank you guys. Thank you for the congrats on the podcast. I appreciate it. I really hope you check it out. So if you'd miss me here, you can, on Monday nights, you can go check it out when you go to work. I'll probably be dropping it on Tuesday mornings. So you guys can listen. So, Tracy, just when I'm ready to wrap up, you decide to come to the party. How are you, my friend? I'm glad you showed up. Tracy, did you hear I started a podcast? Go check out my podcast. All right. That's all I got. So I really appreciate you guys. This has been amazing. I normally don't do solo. I always have a guest on, but this week I decided, you know what, let me just fly on my own. Let's see how this goes. And it's been good. I had a really great turnout tonight. I really appreciate you guys being here. So I will see you next week. I wish I had better news. I really do. But look, I'm just keeping it real, right? So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. If you're here in the Northeast in New Jersey, enjoy this weather. Thank God that all that rain is gone. Dear God. I was like so depressed last week. Like the sun was out today. I was outside like a lot. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all next Monday. Bye.